Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you something I just got, the Emperor Scorpion 1911. This is a replica of a Sig Sauer Emperor Scorpion, and it's a BB gun. Shoots BBs with CO2. It's super cool, so I'm gonna open the box up a bit, show you that, and then I'm gonna compare and contrast it with the Beretta APX that I also have, which is another blowback BB pistol that is also made by Umarex as a replica. Here you can see the pistol itself laying on top of the box. I unboxed this a couple of days ago. I've actually even filmed some stuff with it already, so if you see some information that repeats later, that's just me having filmed the other day, okay? So here's the box. Sig airguns. It says Sig, but it's made by Umarex. It's a 1911, but it does have the rail on the bottom. Not much in the box, honestly. There is a quick safety guide, and then there's, for instructions, it wants you to scan a code and get a PDF, and that is it. There's the gun, and there's that, and then they give you this guy, and I'll show you why. And it's because the way they did the magazine in this thing, the magazine holds the CO2, not the gun, which I'm kind of undecided on yet. Although I am thinking if a seal fails, it'll probably be in here and not in the gun, which means this is like $25 to replace versus a $120 gun. But there's no grip or anything with a key. You have to have this Allen key. If you lose this Allen key, you'll have to get yourself another one. There is no way to tighten that CO2 into there without that key. Let's take a look at the back of the box real quick. Let's close it up just so you can see it. Obviously, if you want to see something, just pause your video right now. 300 feet per second, not fast. You're not going to be hunting with this. This is a replica that you can plink with. Alright, let's take it out. It's built very nice. The build quality is exceptional for a BB gun. One thing I noticed right away is that the CO2 cartridge goes in the magazine and not inside the gun, and I think I'm actually a fan of that for the simple fact that Umarex makes this, and Umarex guns, in my experience, do occasionally have a seal in here fail, and it's almost impossible to get a replacement part. I'm hoping that this will negate that, because I noticed, you probably can't see it in this dark, I'll show it to you later, but it almost looks like it just vents directly out of there and shoots it out of the barrel. So I'm really hopeful that that's what's going to happen, is if it fails I can just get another magazine. So there is a Picatinny rail on the bottom. It does have a threaded barrel. I'm going to try to make a homemade suppressor for it, since it is an air gun and that's not illegal. It does have a hammer. It is considered double action. And I'm going to go ahead and load this up, or should I say put a CO2 in it. I've actually already put BBs in it. There is one other thing I'm not a big fan of, I will have to say, and that is I couldn't even find a way to tighten this at first because I couldn't find my Allen keys, and it took me forever to find this in the box. And unfortunately, if you lose this Allen key, you kind of have to find another one. You know, if you forget this, then you kind of are screwed. I'm not a fan of that. I like when there's a built-in way to tighten these. There we go. It does have a very nice action going in. I mean, it feels like a real 1911. We're going to walk to the back and take some shots with it. We're not super far here, 25 feet perhaps. But the little bit I've tried it, it's actually pretty accurate. I'm rushing my shots now. And we're empty. I'm going to go reload this and we'll take a look at it some more. In the comments of some other videos I've seen about the Emperor Scorpion, I've seen some interesting questions like, could I hunt a squirrel with this? Would it kill a squirrel? No, absolutely not. This is not for hunting squirrels. This is about 300 feet per second. Even at point blank range, you're likely to maybe injure it. This is also not a self-defense weapon. This is a replica of a real firearm, a very cool one. Solid metal, it's real nice, has the blowback action, but it is made strictly for target plinking. I'm going through the lid of that plastic lid of that coffee can now. It is tearing through the plastic pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if they were being a little cautious. I do think it might actually shoot a little faster than 300. I'm thinking maybe 350 or even 4, but I could also be very wrong on that. And we're out. I really like the magazine action on this thing, as well as the slide. I have the Beretta APX, and it kind of wiggles and it makes a lot of noise and it sounds cheap. This one does not. This one really feels like the real thing. Now I'm just going to do a whatever's left, a mag dump right here in the dirt. I've now rapid fired 2 magazines out of this thing, and I believe we're on our 5th magazine overall. So I want to see if it still has any CO2 left to do anything. I mean, I'm still plinking at, must be close to 100 shots now, if not more. Now you can hear it weakening. Yep. But still, that's, oh, there we go. Yep, there we go. Well, that's really good though, considering that most blowbacks, they're telling you get about 50 to 60 decent shots out of it. And I would say we got a good 100. So that is not bad at all. Cool gun, very cool gun. We're gonna compare it to the other gun I was telling you about, which is the Beretta APX replica. This is also made by Umarex. If you don't know, Umarex is a German company, and I have had 1 or 2 issues with them in the past, and replacement parts are pretty much impossible to get. So I was hesitant, but I figure with these, they can be wall hangers if nothing else, and I'm going to have some fun with them in the meantime. So first and foremost, let's compare the size. There's not a huge size difference. Obviously, these are modeled on very different guns. I also forgot to mention it does have a threaded barrel up here, which is pretty cool. I don't know why you'd need a suppressor on a BB gun, but it's pretty neat. The hammer functions, all that other stuff. The big thing that I note is, first off, this is much, much heavier than this, okay? So the build quality is also much, much tighter. Everything feels machined exceptionally well, like a real firearm. This one, not quite so much, and I'll show you by shaking this one. All you hear is maybe 1 BB rattling, and you get this clanky slide on here. Let's see if I can show you. The slide sounds pretty awful, which is not something I like, but I do find this one shoots much harder. Probably 400, 450 FPS, a lot harder than this Emperor Scorpion. So let's do the same thing here. Much nicer. And I just dropped some BBs out of the barrel. Okay, I wasn't sure if it would load them like that. I believe this one can also be taken down for cleaning. So I'm going to go ahead and put some CO2 in here, and then we're going to get started. As I mentioned before, you will need your Allen key to tighten it down or loosen it. It's not like this one that has the little built-in knob. Okay, so with any CO2, turn it till you hear it stop, and really don't tighten after that. I could have done that faster. I'm using the wrong hand though. I'm used to doing it the other way. I'm right-handed, but I always do it that way. So there we go. And again, this thing just sounds good. You hear that? Look at that. Everything about it just sounds like a good gun, all right? Sounds like a firearm. And I'm stepping in mud! I'm going to put this in slow-mo for you. As I was talking about the APX, CO2 goes inside the gun, drops in there, and then of course it has a little twist knob here, or whatever you want to call it, to tighten it down. Every time I tighten one of these down in an Umarex gun, I am a little worried that I'm going to hear it continue to leak inside. But now we're going to take a shot with this one. Helps if I put BBs in it, doesn't it? Take two. So as I mentioned, you know, you get this real sort of clunky sound here, which I'm not a fan of. Otherwise, this gun is awesome. Like, this is probably one of my favorite CO2 BB guns I've ever had, and this was also my first blowback pistol. But now I'm going to go ahead and fire both of them in sequence so you can hear the difference. Also, look at the trigger. How far forward, and then we have a nice smooth trigger here. Big difference, all right? So let me go ahead and tilt you guys down. Listen to one after the other. I'm going to start here, go here. Both guns do lock back whenever you're empty. So I'm going to do a full mag dump of this thing, the Beretta, in slow-mo for you guys, all right? And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Sig Sauer. So if you were determined to go to Academy Sports or wherever today and pick up one of these, which would I recommend? And it's gonna depend. Honestly, they're both great. So if you like the styling of the APX, if you want to spend a little less, they're $79.99, I believe. If you like a really good shooting gun, this thing definitely shoots harder, and it's at least as accurate, if not more accurate, than the Emperor Scorpion. So fantastic gun. Magazines are a little cheaper because they don't have the built-in CO2. So I mean, I can't complain. This is a fantastic gun. It just doesn't seem to have quite the replica quality. Whereas if you want to spend a little more, which is $119 for one of these when they're not on sale, and you really like the 1911 styling, I don't think you're gonna dislike it. It is a fantastic gun. It feels like a real firearm, like I was saying. It's a very, very nice gun. Although 300 feet per second, kind of underwhelming. So you tell me in the comments, which would you pick? I'm going to end the video with some detail shots of the Sig, because I know sometimes online it's hard to find photos of the things you're looking for when you're looking at product photos. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you guys make sure leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.